Hello, welcome to another edition of Hard Copy. I'm Maupe Ogun. It's been 1,005 days since over 276 girls were abducted from the government girls' secondary school in Chibok, Borno State. Of this number, 57 of them escaped, 4 were found, and 21 of them have been released from captivity. At the forefront of the campaign to secure the release of these girls has been one of the most vocal and consistent groups of our times, the Bring Back Our Girls movement, which was formed as a pressure group to continue to put on the front burner the issue of the missing Chibok girls. Of this week, they commenced a 7-day march to commemorate the over 1,000 days of the Chibok girls in the hands of the abductors. Joining me tonight is one of the co-conveners of the group, Aisha Yusufu, as we talk about the BBOG's activism for the release of the Chibok girls. Just stay with us.
It's actually 3 found.
We all know the reason why our girls were taken was because of corruption and bad governance. And so when we say to the president, he should act now, we want more results. What we are saying, apart from bringing back our Chibok girls, is to act on corruption, is to act on bad governance. We want results. We want corruption that is holistically fought for. We want corruption in the last administration and corruption in this administration to be fought against.
Aisha Yusufu, welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, on Sunday this week, your group renewed marches on the presidential villa. Should I say to the presidential villa or on the presidential villa? It's not clear now. But you're commemorating the over 1,000 days of the Chibok girls in captivity. But each day, you choose a different theme. Do you have a reason for this?
Yeah, we do have a reason. The reason being that our Chibok girls, the reason why they were taken, it's because of bad governance and corruption and a whole lot of other things that were going on. And so the themes that we chose, first of all, the first day, which was the 1,000 of our Chibok girls abduction, we made it all about the Chibok girls. And the second day, we decided to talk about IDPs. Our Chibok girls, wherever they are today, they are IDPs. And we see all the things that have been happening in our IDP camps and the humanitarian disaster that we have waiting out there. And so, of course, after the second day, the third day, the theme was military welfare. We have seen that a lot of our soldiers have come out crying. We have seen our soldiers, fighting desperately for basic things like water, dying of thirst and all that. And we found that not acceptable, because for our Chibok girls to come back, it's our soldiers who are putting their lives on the line, on the front line for this nation, who are fighting for this nation, that will end up bringing them back. So we talked about the military welfare. After the military welfare, we talked about corruption and poor governance. Reason why our Chibok girls were taken, it's all about corruption and poor governance. We had a situation whereby the money that was meant to fight the war was looted, ended up in private pockets, and so that affected us. And bad governance, of course, the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and property. And in Chibok girls, it failed, and it failed. They were taken, and for over 1,000 days, it has failed. And up till now, 1,005 days, we have our Chibok girls still in captivity. And so, after dealing with corruption and bad governance, we decided to have two teams yesterday, which was endangered education and girl child vulnerability. Our Chibok girls were in school when they were taken. They went to seek for education. Education is the easiest way to break the shackles of poverty. And the parents of our Chibok girls send them to school to be able to do just that. These are parents who are poor. And unfortunately, in this country, we keep repeating it, that when one is poor, one is nameless, faceless, and voiceless. And one of the things about, we find a lot about girl child vulnerability right now. We see what teenagers are going through. We have seen a lot of abduction in recent times. We have seen girls being taken away, and our Chibok girls too were taken away. And of course, today, we had insecurity from Agatu to Southern Kaduna, to Plateau. You have Adamawa, Taraba, Delta, Ekiti. So many insecurities, Enugu, Imo. And we say that's not okay. The life of the Nigerian citizen must matter. The Nigerian government must know that its primary responsibility is to protect us.
These are all additional issues you add into this, which, you know, people see the primary purpose of your group is the girls, to bring back our girls movement. They think that, you know, these other issues could cloud the primary issue, which is what it is you're agitated for.
What I just told you now, they are not different issues. They are all related to our girls. For example, if you talk about insecurity, out of the 19 Chibok parents that have died so far, 4 of them were killed by the terrorists. So insecurity affects them. And you see, I've related everything to affect each other. So they are all interrelated. And our Chibok girls, they are all affected. At the Bring Back Our Girls movement, we say something. The fight for our Chibok girls is the fight for the soul of Nigeria. They were taken because our nation didn't get its acts together enough to prevent girls who were in their care that had been taken to school to have an education. There's something a Chibok father said. He said the government used to fine them for not sending their children to school. And that now that they have sent their children to school and their children have been taken away, who is going to fine the government? They are all interrelated. They are not new issues.
Well, the marches now seem spaced. You only march on, you know, special occasions, so for special reasons, like now that you're commemorating over 1,000 days of this girl in captivity. Is there a reason for this?
We come out every day. Today is 990 days that we've been coming out. We started coming out April 30th. And of course, our marches have always been that way. Have a sit out at the Unity Fountain, 5 to 6. Initially, in the early days, it was 3 to 4. But those who were working appealed because it mostly end up taking them out of office. And we ended up right now we have it 5 to 6. So every day we have that. But we do our marches based on certain things that have come. Either we are commemorating a particular milestone day, or we did something. Maybe the last one the first one we had in 2016 was when the president had said that he had no credible intel on our Chibok girls, and he didn't tell us he was looking for, and he was just, when he was asked about the question, he was a little bit aloof, and he said that he had been asked 3 times. And of course, 2016, immediately we went on a march. So we've always done, it's not every day we go on protest marches, but we come out every day, and we've been doing that for 990 days. Only 2 days we've not come out, and we had our presence on the social media. These 2 days were the presidential election. Nobody could come out. And of course, when we had the Abuja council, they had their elections.
Okay, so how would you say that, you know, what impact would you say these marches have had?
They always have impact. Unfortunately, I don't know why it is that the Nigerian government would seem not to do anything until we hit the streets. We are a movement who do not just ask or demand and pressure government. We proffer solutions. We've proffered a lot of solutions in the course of our movement. And of course, the government, it seems, it is when we come to the street that they end up doing something. And so that we find it's a bit, we don't understand it. Because at the end of the day, we are citizens who believe in government. Because by coming out every day and making the minds from our government, for our Chibok girls, it simply says something, that we have our trust in government, we believe in government, we know the government can, even when the government doesn't know it can. And we're saying that as when they bring back our Chibok girls, you know what it says to every Nigerian citizen? That the government has gotten our back. That if anything should have ever happened to any of us, will be brought back.
Now, I was going to take you up on, you know, what the BBOG means. I mean, it means different things to different people under different circumstances. I'm sure you're not stranger to the fact that quite a number of people think you're confrontational. Some of them think, well, for instance, let's start from here. The PDP might think that you're instrumental to their loss during the 2015 presidential elections. Is this something your group would take responsibility for?
Well, for them to think that we are instrumental to the loss, rather than the president at that time not bringing back our Chibok girls being instrumental to his own loss. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. Because, you know, sometimes what we try to do in this nation is that we do not accept responsibility for our actions. We rather blame every other person rather than blaming ourselves. The PDP have no cause to blame any other person. They have themselves to blame. Because if they had governed this country well, the same government that was overwhelmingly voted for in 2011, by 2015, you know, all the this thing that you had, it's no more there, then you need to question yourself and ask yourself what happened. Did you govern the citizens the way you were supposed to? Was it all about impunity? When we came out and we were demanding for rescue of our Chibok girls, if the then government had done something, I tell you, we wouldn't be here 1,000 days talking about our Chibok girls. They would all have been back by then. And so for especially for PDP, they need to go back and see what happened if they had brought them back. But if for them to say that, okay, girls were abducted from school and we all go home, no empathy, a nation with no humanity, no. It's not our fault. They didn't do the right thing. If they had, probably, who knows?
But you haven't quite gotten along with the APC government.
Of course we haven't. Nobody does. By the time you make demands from people, they will never get along with them. You know, what they want is the fact that, oh, citizens just go home and we all forget that Chibok girls were ever abducted. And what kind of a nation is that? Will we continue to pressure government? Will we continue to demand from government? Will we continue to hold government responsible? We would not allow them abdicate their responsibility. That's what they're looking for. And if that makes us confrontational, so be it. But at the end of the day, what do we want? We want good governance in this country. We want transparency. We want accountability. We want every Nigerian life to matter. One thing that we Nigerians need to understand is the fact that when something is happening to another person and you do nothing, it's only a matter of time before it gets to you. Before Chibok girls, have we ever heard of children being abducted in school? Now, once in a while, we hear that. Even as far as Lagos State, girls were abducted from their school. And today, so what do we have? Because we did nothing. Because we refused to unite as a nation. Because we refused to come together and say, every Nigerian life must matter. We found ourselves in this position. But as it is, we are not here to be liked by government. Our own is to pressure them, to monitor them, to demand from them, to ensure that the government be the best government it can be, and we continue to hold them responsible.
Do you think that you'll be able to realize that? Let's talk about the rift between you and this current government. Initially, you had a meeting with them. I think it was on July 8. You met with President Buhari. It would seem that that meeting went well. You had another meeting or demanded another meeting sometime in January of 2016. That meeting, I think, eventually held. What went wrong? Because it would seem that from there, there was a rift between your group and the current government.
You know, our movement has been a movement that has been very reasonable. And of course, when the government, the current government came in, we knew that over 400 days had passed without our Chibok girls, and they needed to settle in and, we decided to give them time. And we asked for a meeting with the president, and that meeting happened July 8th. And when that meeting happened, it went very well. The president even praised our movement and asked that our spirit, our doggedness, our resilience, our not giving up and holding government accountable, and said we should continue that. I remember him saying that he wants criticism from citizens, especially like us, for that will make it better. And when we had the meeting, it was a good meeting. And we had our ABC of demands. There were different things we asked for. And some of the things they said they were going to do, we asked that there should be a panel that would check what happened. How come? There should be a kind of inquiry to find out how come girls, it was so easy for students that were in school in a state of emergency to be taken away. And there were other different demands that we had. Feedback mechanism where the government will treat its citizens as if they matter and tell us what is happening, tell the parents what is happening. A whole lot of things that were supposed to be done. And after, before then, on May 29, 2015, when the president, during his inaugural speech, and he said that the war against Boko Haram will not be said to have been won without the rescue of our Chibok girls and all other abductees. We were quite happy about that. And subsequently, you always hear the president talk about rescuing of our Chibok girls, not only rescuing them, ensuring that they get back to school and they get their lives back and they are able to achieve dreams that they never even knew that they can achieve. And we were happy with that. And we were expecting up until December 2015, when the president had his presidential media chat. I think chat, that's the only one he has had so far. And then when he was asked about the Chibok girls, there was this look of, on his president's face. And he said, he first of all ignored the question, and they had to prompt him.
Aisha, I'm afraid we'll have to take a moment now. We'll come back and we'll finish answering that question and also talk about the future of the BBOG movement. Do join us again.